Hi Year 5. Well done for last week with your home learning. You're doing a fantastic job and me and Mrs. France are really proud of you. I'm just going to go through week 4 for your home learning. Again, if you're doing home learning using paper pack or on paper mash, then they both apply to this video. Okay, in guided reading, we're going to be looking at a newspaper article called The Space Times, and that's going to tell us about a real life event that happened in 2017. It's called a solar eclipse, and it's when the moon orbits around the Earth and it blocks the sunlight. So it hides the sun and it turns the Earth dark. You can also do a little bit of research on that if you would like to after and find out a bit more and see videos of the real event. In English, we're going to be looking at Pobble again, and this time we're going to be looking at a picture with a UFO on it, so an unidentified flying object. And in this case, it is an alien spaceship. And the alien spaceship is trying to steal a little boy's tricycle. So next week, we're going to be doing some creative writing about the ideas why the aliens might want to take the tricycle. In maths, we're going to continue with fractions. Now, we were absolutely amazing at fractions in Year 5, and I'm sure we will continue that when we do it online as well. I am just going to quickly show you some methods just to remind you what to do. But the work this week, hopefully you should remember what to do from when we did it in lessons. I'm going to show you on the laptop today, just so I can show you the workings out very clearly, as my whiteboard isn't very clear at the moment. So I'll share my screen with you. So first of all, we're going to start by looking at identifying fractions. So we know that the numerator is the top number and it shows us how many pieces are coloured in, and the denominator is the bottom number and that shows us how many pieces we have in total. So if we were going to identify this fraction here, we would know we've got one piece coloured in, so our numerator would be 1, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces all together, so our denominator would be 4. So this shape represents 1/4. On this shape here, we have 1, 2, 3 pieces coloured in, so our numerator would be 3, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces all together, so our denominator would be 8. So this shape represents 3/8. With these ones, we're going to colour in the shape to represent the fraction. Now, if you have a paper pack, this is what you will be doing on Monday. So this time we have 4 pieces all together. We know that because that's our denominator, but we need to colour 3 pieces in. 1, 2, 3. So that represents 3/4. On this one, we have 8 pieces all together, which is represented by this shape here, but we need to colour in 5 of them because that's our numerator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They don't have to be coloured in next to one another. You can colour any 5 pieces in because it still represents that fraction. So this one is 5/8. On Tuesday, we're going to be looking at mixed numbers and improper fractions, so I will show you how to convert between the two. So first of all, we have mixed numbers. So a mixed number has a whole number at the start and then a proper fraction next to it. And an improper fraction is when the numerator is larger than the denominator. So we're going to convert the mixed numbers into the improper fractions. And to do that, we times the whole number by the denominator. So I usually put a little multiplication sign there to remind me. So 8 multiplied by 5 is 40, but I still have 2 left over, so I add those on. So 8 multiplied by 5 is 40, add the 2, that's 42. So my numerator would be 42. The denominator stays the same, so that would be 5. So I know that 8 and 2/5 is the same as 42/5. So 8 and 2/5 is the mixed number, 42/5 is the improper fraction. They both have the same value. So now we've got 5 3/4. So we'll follow the same process again. Times the whole number by the denominator. 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. Add the numerator, so 20 add 3 is 23. And then the denominator stays the same again. So we have 23/4. So 5 3/4 is equivalent to 23/4. Now we're going to look at doing it the other way. So from an improper fraction back to a mixed number. So this time we need to figure out how many whole numbers, how many whole denominators we can fit into our numerator. So a whole number for this is 5, because 5 is your denominator. And I know that 5 times 7 is 35, so I can fit 7 whole 5s into 37. So my whole number is 7. But then I would still have 2 little pieces left over, so they become my numerator. So I can fit 7 times 5 into 37, and I have 2 left over, and that becomes my numerator. Denominator stays the same. Okay, if we were to work backwards, you could check your answer. So 7 times 5 is 35, add the 2 is 37, 37/5. So we've got that one right. Now this one here, 19/4, I know that I can fit 4 whole 4s into 19. So my whole number will be 4. And I would have 3 left over. So my numerator would be 3. My denominator would stay the same, and it would be 4. So 19/4 is the same as 4 3/4. Okay, on Wednesday you're going to need these 2 pages, but you're just going to be ordering them instead. So you'll need to make all of your numbers into improper fractions and then order them. Okay, on Thursday we're going to be adding and subtracting fractions, but we can only do that when we have the same denominator. So what we're going to do is we need to identify which fraction we need to change the denominator of. So I've got fifths and tenths. I know that if I multiply this fraction by 2, that it will become tenths. So remember, you times the top and the bottom because we're scaling up. So 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 2 is 10. This one would stay the same because you already have tenths. Excuse my handwriting on the laptop. So 4 tenths add 5 tenths equals, so remember we add the numerators, 4 add 5 equals 9. 10 add 10, we leave the denominator the same. So it would not be 20, it would stay as 10. So 4 tenths add 5 tenths equals 9 tenths. Okay, this time we have 11 twelfths subtract 3/4. Okay, this time twelfths is our biggest fraction, and I know that I can times this one by 3 to make it twelfths. So this one will stay the same, 11 twelfths. But this one, we're going to multiply by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And 4 times 3 is 12. So now they both have the same denominator. So 11 subtract 9 equals 2. Denominator stays the same. So 11 twelfths subtract 3/4 changes to 11 twelfths subtract 9 twelfths equals 2 twelfths. Now on Friday we're going to do something very, very similar, but we're going to just be comparing the fractions instead. So again, we've got 15ths or fifths. So this one would stay the same, 4 15ths. And this one, to make fifths into 15ths, we need to multiply it by 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 3 is 15. That one looks like 16, but that's supposed to be a 15. And then we need to think about which symbol would represent that the best. So we've got less than, more than, or equal to. So this time we need to use less than. So 4 15ths is less than 9/15. 7/8 and 2/16. So this time I know I can make 8 into 16 by timesing it by 2. So 14/16. And then that one would stay the same, 2/16. So this time we would use greater than symbol. 14/16 is greater than 2/16. But the most important thing is that we make sure that both fractions have the same denominator. Okay, and that is Friday's work. So in a moment I'm going to be showing you the video for our topic work. You're going to be looking at what causes day and night. So when the Earth rotates on its axis, that's what causes day and night, but in the video it explains how this works. It's only a very short video, it's only about a minute long, so it's on the end of this video again. So good luck, have a lovely week. Make sure you try really hard with your work. Keep up the hard work, we've got a few more weeks left. We're really, really proud of you, and I will see you in next week's video.
Here, on Earth, how do we go from day to night? It's nighttime in parts of the world, but it's daytime in other parts. When Britain faces the sun, it's daytime in Britain. But the other side of the world is in darkness, so in Australia, it's the middle of the night. However, the Earth rotates, and as it rotates, the parts of the Earth that were facing the sun turn away from it into darkness. The Earth rotates one complete turn every 24 hours. So day is followed by night is followed by day.